Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thank you so much for tuning in here. Tuesday, April 30th, second show of the day. Zay Jones and Joey Slye, released by the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars also announced their undrafted free agent signings, which we will talk about later on. Right now, I want to focus on Zay Jones and Joey Slye again being released by the team. The team says, happy trails. Thanks for the work you've put in, Zay Jones. Thanks for coming and hanging out for a couple months, Joey Slye. So we're going to talk about that here today. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can also check out genjag.com/shop, pick up some new Duval gear, or become a channel member here on YouTube. Again, really appreciate y'all. So Zay Jones, released by the Jacksonville Jaguars, saves the Jags essentially $4.2 million in 2024 cap space. Interesting move. Joey Slye saves them $1.1 million in cap space. We're going to talk about Zay, then we will talk a little bit about Joey Slye at the end of this thing. So Zay Jones, why do you release Zay Jones? Obviously, the Jaguars feel better now. They drafted Brian Thomas Jr. They got their guy in here. They also signed Gabe Davis. You saved $4.2 million against the cap in 2024. You already had the third most cap space in football. Like, it cannot be about cap space. If you're doing this just to save $4.2 million against the cap, I think that's dead wrong. Are you trying to just like do right by Zay Jones? You know, release him and maybe he can go sign on with another team and have a larger role? Because right now, you look at the Jaguars depth chart, Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr. are your two starters on the outside. Christian Kirk is your starter in the slot. So Zay Jones is wide receiver 4. I think when you look at it, do you just like your young guys too much or that much, right? You have a lot of youth on the back end of this roster at wide receiver. Is it about that? I don't know. I really don't know the reasoning for the Jaguars doing this. But I will say, or I will ask, who is your starting receiver on the outside if Gabe Davis or Brian Thomas Jr. goes down? It's now someone that is unproven. Like, you see plenty of teams around the league that have a quality veteran wide receiver 4. Michael Gallup just signed with the Las Vegas Raiders. That's what Zay Jones would have been in Jacksonville in 2024. And it's not like there's some long-term cap implications. Like, moving on from him right now doesn't do anything for the cap that letting him walk after the 2024 season wouldn't have done. Are you banking on Jarvis Landry? That can't be the case, right? Like, he missed all of 2023. He's also more of a slot guy than an outside receiver. He's also 31. Did I mention he did not play last year with an ankle injury? So for me, like, that can't be the answer. I am a fan of Parker Washington, Elijah Cooks, Joshua Cephas. The Ruby kid looks like he can be a player. UDFA. You know, Seth Williams is still around, and he's a good football player. But do you really want one of those guys to be your outside wide receiver 3? Do you want one of those guys stepping into the starting lineup, or even Tim Jones? Do you want one of those guys stepping into the starting lineup if Gabe Davis or Brian Thomas Jr. goes down? I don't. I absolutely do not. Like, this is a team in a championship window right now. This is a team that has brought in a lot of good veteran talent, a lot of young talent in this 2024 NFL draft. You have a big-time quarterback. You have a lot of big-time offensive talent. You have a lot of big-time defensive talent. You have a really good offensive coach in Doug Peterson, who I think is going to be much more hands-on on that side of the ball in 2024. You have a really good defensive coach in Ryan Nielsen. I think he's going to allow Doug Peterson to not have to pay so much attention to the defensive side of the ball. This is a team in a championship window. We saw last year. I mean, it hasn't even been a year. We saw what happens when a receiver goes down. When Zay got hurt, they were not nearly as good. And then talk about Christian Kirk going down, obviously. But if Brian Thomas Jr. goes down, or if Gabe Davis goes down, You're now relying on a day 3 pick or an undrafted free agent or Tim Jones, who's been around for a while, more of a special teamer, to come in and lock down the outside. I do not like that option. I do not like it at all. I really don't. Like, I'm not for this move, straight up. Like, Zay Jones, when he was healthy for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I never advocated for him being your second wide receiver target. But as a wide receiver 4 on a team, again, trying to establish depth, trying to win a championship, trying to push for everything that they can in 2024, why not keep Zay Jones and ensure that you're not going to have a situation at wide receiver where you can't produce because you don't have someone who's been out there and done that? Like, Zay Jones has a good chemistry on the football field with Trevor Lawrence. When he was healthy in 2022 and 2023, he was one of the guys that could find the end zone in big spots. So is he going to go somewhere and sign to be like a wide receiver 3? I hope so for him. I don't know that that's going to happen. We'll see. I think that releasing him earlier could have helped him potentially find a better landing spot. But we'll see how it plays out for Zay. You know, he was a good locker room guy. He was somebody that the team valued, you know, the players around him valued. He was someone that, again, could be a playmaker and a guy that gave you great depth in this 2024 season. This is a team that we've talked about in the past, again, as recently as 2023. Not having depth cost them in 2023 in a big way. Right now, like, I like the young guys, I do. But I don't think you move on from Zay just because you want to keep one of these young guys. Not this year, not when you're trying to win a championship. That's just how I feel about it. Would love to know what you guys think. And then we've also got Joey Slye. This one was obvious. You have Cam Little, you have Riley Patterson. Cam Little is the one you're banking on becoming your starting kicker. You drafted him in the 6th round. You believe in him as a starter. He's a young kid. He's been improving every year. He's got a big leg, good on kickoffs, good from 50-plus yards, doesn't miss extra points, needs to improve slightly from 40 to 49 yards from a statistical standpoint. But overall, yeah, Cam Little is your plan A. Riley Patterson is your plan B. And I think that's fine. Stinks for Joey Slye, you know. Just signed a couple months ago. Now he's off trying to find more work. But that's the business, right? We'll see how it plays out for Joey Slye for the Jaguars kickers. I do not like moving on from Zay Jones. I'll be very clear about that. I thought he was a fantastic option as a wide receiver 4. We'll see how it all plays out. Now, do the Jaguars have another move in the works? I don't know. I really don't. But as of this moment, I do not like the idea of having one of these young guys as your wide receiver 4 heading into the 2024 season. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can also check out ginjag.com/shop, pick up some new Duval gear. You can become a channel member if you want to support the channel further. Y'all have a good one.